Hello, I'm Matt Yankovic, the Chief Experience Officer at Percona. Rising costs are something every company is concerned about and wants to avoid. What most don't realize is that many costs can easily be avoided. I wanted to take a few minutes to show you how. Over the past 13 years, Percona has helped thousands of clients secure, optimize, and scale their systems while keeping their costs low. What have we learned? Well, almost all companies need three things when it comes to their applications, databases, and infrastructure. First, they need to ensure the safety of their data and their users' data. Second, they need to meet the expectations of their end users, being both available and giving access whenever the application is needed. Third, they need to increase efficiency and keep their costs low. If you check the boxes on these three items, you are not only ahead of the competition, you are also set up for success. Missing any of these three, though, can lead to failures and problems in all of the three. Consider a data breach. If this were to happen, what would be the impact on your business? Fines for losing control of your data are escalating, not to mention the reputation loss. So not only would you have a security issue, you would also have a trust issue with your user base because you did not meet their expectations. Additionally, your costs would increase either through fines or the additional efforts it takes to secure your systems and regain that trust. I'd like to take a second and talk about one of the most overlooked things that lead to spiraling costs. The biggest driver for out-of-control costs, in my opinion, is overlooking the impact of small and simple changes. It does not take a lot to move the needle in big ways. Consider a recent example. We had a customer whose end users were experiencing a sluggish application experience. This user's systems were running at 100% capacity with no room to spare. It turned out that 75% of the usage on the system was due to one simple line of code. A small tweak to optimize this code enabled the system to see an instant improvement in the end user's experience. This small optimization, however, is not always the solution when you run into capacity issues. Often finding the culprits takes time and expertise. Many companies instead would upgrade to a bigger database server or instance, add additional nodes to a cluster, or scale some other way. There are limits to this scalability, however. Let me give you another example. Several years ago, we worked with a large social media company to help them optimize their systems. They were having performance and scalability issues that were severely impacting their customer base. They had made a design decision early on that their entire application would use a user's email as a unique way of identifying their users. The issue is the way most database engines work, they tend to be more efficient and scalable using numeric identifiers. Often not enough to make much of a difference. Think 5 to 10% or even milliseconds off of each operation. But at scale, with hundreds of millions of users and billions of queries, that difference can add up quickly. Switching them to use a numeric identifier first, with an email as the secondary lookup, actually cut their hardware needs almost in half. Prior to our involvement, their solution to capacity issues was simply adding more servers and larger hardware. What would have been the savings if they had done this operation 5 years earlier? Potentially millions. Today, more than ever before, companies are overpaying for their database setups. Why? Vendors have built tools to help drive down costs, increase efficiency, and make it easier to run databases. These tools lower the barrier for entry for everyone. But often these tools are deployed incorrectly and often viewed as a silver bullet to solve every database-related issue. This tends to lead to higher long-term costs and an increased chance of not meeting your three key objectives. Each application has its own unique fingerprint workload and user base. Getting the most out of your entire application stack, database included, is paramount, not only for keeping your data safe and meeting expectations, but also to keep your costs low. Bottom line, when you're concerned about costs, consider these 5 things. Small things add up to big costs. Don't ignore them, especially at scale. Number 2, you should be reviewing, investigating, and optimizing what you have on a regular basis, especially after every new release. A new release is a new application fingerprint. Number 3, make sure you have the tools and expertise in place before a problem occurs. Number 4, Don't mistake the easy solution for the most cost-effective one in the long run. They are not the same thing. And number 5, you could be overspending a great deal already. It's worth a second look right now.